All right, here we go, though. Rashid finally learning where the competitive mode button is. You'd think he'd know. It's been all night. Actually, honestly, sometimes when I'm playing, like just you and me, like I forget to turn it on all the time.
All right, but that means this will be the real start of the match, and the matchup, the characters chosen are the same. We're going to see Deadshot against Cyborg, and this is not as much of a zoning matchup so far as you would have thought.
No, not at all. In fact, this is taking place all up close and personal.
Now, that's a pretty scary option. No, both of these characters actually have very different up-close styles. Now, Cyborg, while he doesn't have nearly any mix-ups, is very much based on his plus frames. He's got a lot of plus frames.
A lot of good pressure up close.
His like Sonic Blaster and his 422 and a lot of different things they have plus frames. Now, Deadshot has almost no plus frames, but he's a high-low mix-up character.
Right.
So while they're both primarily zoners, seeing them up close is actually pretty interesting.
That's where the majority of this match took place so far, but now we see it again towards the latter part of the screen, where I'm actually not too sure which character wins the zoning war.
Well, the real big thing here is it's recovery versus damage, because Cyborg does not have a very good recovering fireball.
No, but he does isn't the highest damage per single projectile, yeah.
Yes, it's over 100 damage. And on the other side of that, Deadshot has very low defense, so he will do absolutely maximum damage.
Yeah.
Deadshot's projectile only does about 60 damage, 66 damage on a low defense character, and I do not believe Cyborg is a low defense.
No. Oh, nice block on the overhead, but again, plus frames. Oh! For a second, I thought that was going to come back around and actually hit Cyborg, but it didn't.
That would have been funny.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's a lot of damage. He needs to break. Oh, not going to give him a chance.
Now trying to chip him out. No meter left for Deadshot. He is going to catch him.
He didn't even try to break. He didn't think he could make the comeback. That is one of the biggest issues with Cyborg as a character at the moment, is you have to hold the momentum, otherwise it's very hard to make a comeback. He has plus frames, but he doesn't get huge damage off of them, and he doesn't really have too many great mix-ups. So making a comeback with him, not the easiest thing.
Yeah, especially the fact that they changed his missiles that used to be a true low to no longer a true low. It's actually a mid now. His back missiles.
Right, target acquired.
Target acquired, there it is. Can he do it? Yeah, Injustice 1 used to be a true low.
Yeah, it did.
More.
It was a really scary mix-up because he could overhead at the same time, and especially now in this game that he's got some better up-close options, he would have been able to set up some really nasty stuff. But it still allows him to set up pressure, which
no, it's still a viable tool. I'm just saying that was what was scary. That was his mix-up, yeah. Now he's just all based on plus frames and being in your face, as far as the strings go.
Right.
Not really.
As far as his game plan, this is a little bit more from what we're used to seeing.
Yeah.
Now, from this range, I think Cyborg needs to get a little bit closer before he tries to counter zone. Because from max range, Han is still able to block the Cyborg projectile, and then Cyborg eats the full projectile.
Oh, look at the respect! And then a grab.
And there's actually a really interesting metagame with Cyborg's grab. His forward grab throws them full screen. So if you want to zone them, you can use his forward grab. His back grab actually leaves them in perfect spacing and knockdown range to get a meaty plus frame normal on them. So if you're trying to make a comeback, trying to rush down, back throw is much better. Now, of course, that is ignoring where you actually are on the screen, but there's a lot to it.
Okay, nice meter run roll. And a good clean out kill.
And meter run roll is a very scary option against Deadshot, so that was a very risky move.
And I gotta say, honestly, I feel like Prettyflocko is comfortable at both ranges, up close and at full screen.
Well, yeah, you have to be. I mean, even
against Deadshot.
Yeah, that is true. Which is tough. But when you play a zoner, you absolutely have to be comfortable in every single situation, because you almost are never going to keep somebody out 100% of the time, unless maybe you're Deadshot.
I mean, but like, 9 times out of 10, they're eventually going to find their way in.
Right. I've heard the term that a zoner or a keep away player isn't judged based on how well they keep people out, but how well they deal with it when people get in.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very, very accurate statement.
I mean, a lot of people may not enjoy zoning, but I actually think the art of zoning and doing it well is incredibly difficult.
It is, especially in a game like this. Now, you have to know a lot of different, basically data and a lot of move interactions to play a zoning on zoning game. Because you have to know when you're going to be able to win a trade, when you're going to be able to throw out a fireball without taking another fireball to the face. You have to know just how much of a life lead you can have to where you will automatically win the zoning game, and they have to come into you.
I really also, I want to say I like Flocko's approach. He's desperately trying to get some breathing room so he can finally get out target acquired so he can start getting his zoning going. But Rashid is also aware of that, and he wakes up with Gunshot, which normally isn't a safe wake up, right? But at that full screen situation, he's stuffing it, and it's actually really smart.
Yeah, he's totally stopping him from doing it. Sometimes, I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen, really, to him? He knows that he can throw it out. It's going to recover fast enough to be able to block another projectile. I mean, if the projectile's in his face, he can react to it and just not wake up. But then at that point, Cyborg can't set anything up. So it's very smart. He's stopping him from getting his momentum going. And speaking of, we were talking about zoning with momentum. Cyborg is another one, but that's because he has very long startup moves that then force the opponent to respect you. So the biggest change to him in this game is the fact that his trait is now he can drop the, I mean, I don't know exactly what it is. It's a little robot. It's the Mother Bones trait.
The Roomba?
Yeah, the Doomba.
The Doomba.
You gotta remember that for next time. So he's able to drop that, and while that's on its way to you, as you're seeing right there, you have to respect it or you're going to eat it, no matter what. Even if Cyborg blocks or gets hit, it's still going. It's still going 100%. So he can just block your next projectile, let that hit you, or if you're respecting it, he can keep chipping you while it's on the way. Or, while he's using the respect from that, he can then throw it at target acquired, and while the target acquired's on the way to you, then you can respect it, you can projectile more, or
come in.
Yeah, or go in. There's a bunch of different things. So a lot of it is about him getting an advantage and keep using that advantage to create more advantage in the zoning game.
Okay, but finally finding his way in. Oh, he went for a back three, but he canceled that string into the knee.
And the canceling into knee is a really good option a lot of the time. A lot of people, they try to press their advantage and move forward after you block the low to overhead string because it does move you back automatically. But if you throw out the knee, it stops people from doing anything, and a lot of times they won't be ready for the meter burn follow-up, which is overhead, or they'll meter burn back 3 and it's 2 hits. There's a little jump, a bunch of different options.
Yeah, but I gotta say, man, Rashid, great job of checking Flocko, even on meter burn rolls when he comes in.
And Deadshot is one of the best at checking people from meter burn rolls. Either you get hit by a late projectile in the meter burn, or he can just recover in time to throw you. And Flocko getting something started, throwing out the drone.
That was,
Ooh.
That's how it's done in Motown.
All right, and this is a pretty good spot. He's got Han in the corner, but Han...
There's so many guns in this situation, from Deadshot to the blaster, from to Cyborg to the APC in the background. Just everything is shooting.
He should be able to jump and use that gun. I mean, that's his whole thing, right? He can use any gun.
Oh, that is it. Rashid 3-0, although it was a fight. Flocko definitely gave him a fight. It was not free.
He did, just wasn't able to quite get anything going. And honestly, Han seemed very comfortable fighting Cyborg. Like you were saying, he was stopping him from getting his stuff set up. He knew exactly when he could disrespect him to stop him from being able to do something like that. And it was a very smart play from Han.
Yeah, overall. And again, Han just checking him at every situation that he could. Going back to you were talking about the forward throw and back throw that left him in the media range.
Yeah, and Flocko, I have to say, great showing. Playing a character that I tend to say we haven't seen a lot of, but we have seen a decent amount in Hometown Heroes now.
Hometown Heroes, that's 2 for 2 on broadcast.
That's true. But we generally don't see him too much. And he will be taking a pretty nice 4th place with Cyborg, which is very good.
Which is impressive, which leaves us, ladies and gents, to our final 3. In winners, it is Hara Gaming's Rewind versus Nubcakes. And waiting down there in losers final is Rashid. So it's all come down to our final 3, Evan. Predictions.
Predictions? We're doing predictions?
I kind of want to rack your brain because I'm only doing predictions because it's SoCal.
I think that whoever wins out of winners finals will win. Both of the players in winners finals, the last time they fought Han in tournament, have beaten him. So he's going to have to change something big. I'm not saying he's free. He's great. He made it to top 3.
No, he is great.
He's extremely good. But I think that the winners finals will determine the winner.
I would tend to agree with you. I really would. So, one last break, and then, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming back with the final 3 tonight of GameStop's Hometown Heroes in the Los Angeles region. Stay tuned.